I have $100 here. That sounds like a lot of money, but it could be some money or a little money or even no money. In this video, I'll show you the differences in talking about amounts using count nouns and non-count nouns. These words and phrases are used with count nouns and non-count nouns when talking about amounts. There are some similarities between both categories. Notice that with count nouns, the noun in this position ends in an S. This would be plural, even when talking about zero. And non-count nouns don't take an S when using the noun. So going from the greatest or largest amount to the smallest amount or zero, we have a lot of, and then the noun is here, and this is the plural. Some, not a lot of, a few, this is usually 3 or 4, and few actually sounds like an amount smaller than this. Not any and no. These are used for zero. And for non-count nouns, you can see the similarities except that these don't end in an S. A lot of, some, not a lot of, a little, this is a small amount, and little sounds like an even smaller amount. Not any and no are used for zero. But remember that often these are used in exaggeration, and often they're used in comparing two or more amounts. An amount is often introduced with the word there. Here you have a lot, that would be a large amount, and all the way down to there aren't any or there are no. This would be zero. There are a lot of, and then the count noun will take a plural. There are a lot of apples, or any other count noun you can think of. Books, chairs, cars. There are some apples. There aren't a lot of apples. This is a smaller amount. Notice that you can always use a lot of with count nouns and with non-count nouns. That makes this a little easier. There are a few, and then the noun, apples. This would be perhaps 3 or 4. And a smaller amount sounds like there are few apples. This is always compared to another amount. So this could be greater than 4, 3 or 4, but it sounds like a small amount, very small. There are few, and then the count noun. There aren't any apples, that's 0, or there are no apples. Notice the difference here using the negative, not, and any. And here, this is affirmative, but the negative is here in front of the count noun, which is plural. There are no apples. Over here, there is a lot of, and then a non-count noun goes here. Let's use time. But you can use other non-count nouns, such as water, oil, information. There is some time. There is not a lot of time. That sounds like a small amount of time. There's a little time, and there's little time. This sounds like a smaller amount than this. There isn't any time. That means 0. And there is no time. These have the same meaning. It's also very common to use the contraction with there and is. So here you can see they're not contracted, but you can easily just say theirs with all of these. And here, there are, you can't contract. Don't try to contract it. Just say there are. It's not easy for some students to make both words. Some people have trouble with both words together, but you just have to practice using them. There are or there aren't. Let's practice this with the verb have and a pronoun. Here, the pronoun is I, but you can use he or she, and then the verb changes to has. These are in the present tense. I have a lot of, and then there's an S here. This is plural, and count noun such as books will go here. I have a lot of books. I have some books. I don't have a lot of books. This sounds like a small amount. I have a few books. This would be perhaps 3 or 4. I have few books. This is always compared to another amount. It's not the same as a few, but this sounds like a very small number. I don't have any books. That's 0. And I have no books. These are the same, but notice the difference. Here's the negative helping verb with have, and here's the verb have. It's affirmative, and then no. For non-count nouns, we can use a word like money. I have a lot of money. I have some money. I don't have a lot of money. I have a little money. I have little money. Notice the difference between these two. This sounds like a very small amount. I don't have any money. I have no money. These two are the same. Just remember that with non-count nouns, there's no S here.